Great, boys and girls. I'm so glad you decided to choose this card. Let's review what we've learned with adding, subtracting, and multiplying fractions. Let's get started with adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. I'm going to add 1/2 and 3/4. And the first thing I need to do is I need to find their least common denominator. So I'm looking for their common multiples, 2 and 4. And I see right away that 2 has a common multiple with 4, and it's 4. So I'm going to change 1/2 to 2/4. How do I do that? I multiply 1/2 by 2 over 2. I'm going to multiply 2 by 2 and get 4, and I'm going to multiply 1 times 2 and get 2. And now I can add these fractions together because they have common denominators. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 4 and 4, that denominator stays the same, and I have 5/4. And remember, 5/4 is an improper fraction. It's a fraction that means more than 1. It's more than 1 whole, so I'm going to change it to a mixed number. How many groups of 4 are inside of 5? 1 whole group. And how many are left over? 1. 1 and 1/4 is our final answer. How'd you do? Do you remember that? Let's move on. Now it's your turn. Give these a try. Write these down on your scrap paper and give it a try. Make sure that you show your math and pause the slideshow right now so that you can get them done. When you go to the next slide, you'll see that there are some answers. And I want you to double check. I want you to make sure that I did all of the problems correctly, okay? All right, give it a try. Pause it here. Ta-da! Here are the answers. Check your work to mine. See if we have the same answers. Did we find the same common denominators? Did we both find the least common denominator? Check. And then, boys and girls, also double and triple check. Make sure that I did my math correctly. If you find that I did one wrong, come over to the hot zone and let me know. I want to know that you are on your toes. Let me know if you found one that I did not do correctly. This might be a great time to pause the slide again so that you can correct your work. Okay, let's put our multiplying fractions to the test. I think it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. What do you think? We're going to follow these 3 steps. We're going to multiply the numerators, we're going to multiply the denominators, and then we are going to simplify. Let's take a look at this example right down here. 3/4 times 8/9. And as you can see, I've already multiplied the numerators. 3 times 8 is 24. And I've already multiplied the denominators. 4 times 9 is 36. And I'm hoping you're recognizing that 24/36 is not in simplest form. Can you simplify that for me now? Here, I've done a little work for you. I've found all the factors of 24 and 36, and remember, to simplify a fraction, we're going to find the greatest common factor. So why don't you pause the slideshow right now and simplify? Were you able to get it done on your own? Whew, look at all those factors. 24 has quite a few factors, and so does 36. And they have quite a few in common, but their greatest common factor is 12. So if I divide the numerator and the denominator by 12, I've simplified this fraction to 2/3. Let's try to make this even a little bit easier. As you can see, I've rewritten this problem right here in red, and I have 3/4 times 8/9. Remember, boys and girls, we can divide by any numerator and denominator that share a common factor. So if I take a look here, I can see that 3 and 9 share a common factor. They share the common factor of 3. I'm going to divide 3 by 3, which is 1, and 9 by 3, which is 3. And now I'm going to look here and I see a common factor between this numerator and denominator, and their common factor is 4. So I'm going to divide 4 by 4, which is 1, and 8 by 4, which would give me 2. And now I'm going to follow the same step. I'm going to multiply the numerators together and then the denominators together. And look what happens. It comes out in simplest form. I think that's a lot easier to work with than 24/36. If you can find a common denominator, common factor between the numerator and denominator, you're all set. And as a final review that I think is going to put you ahead of your friends and neighbors, do you remember algebra? How do you solve a simple algebraic expression? Do you remember how to do that? Let's give it a try. All right, let's give this problem a try. X minus 2 equals 8 is a simple algebraic equation. We're going to solve for x. X is the variable. And if you recall, we're going to leave x on one side of the equal sign. We want to isolate it. We're going to leave it to the left. And we're going to undo what has been done with the operation. So it was minus 2, we're going to add 2 to both sides. When I subtract and add, it negates itself, and there we have x equals 8 plus 2 is 10. I can check to see if that works. I'm going to say 10 minus 2, and does that equal 8? Yeah, 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 equals 8. That checks and balances. Do you remember doing that, boys and girls? It was the very beginning of the year, but I thought it would be a nice time for a quick refresher. Great job. I'm so glad you chose this slide because now you're better prepared for our test at the end of the week. Congratulations. You just finished reviewing fractions. If time still remains, you may go to any card you choose, including cool math games. Have fun.